Libra, lots of big stuff happening this week. Let's get to it. Libra, this is your week ahead astrology forecast from Astrology Motivation by Born Without Boundaries. Welcome. In this video, we're going to go over the major planetary aspects and transits and how they impact your natal sun and what that means for your life. We're going to start really broad with those things that are impacting everybody, and then we'll whittle that down or focus it to focus on the things that Libra specifically should understand and know for this week. This week, by the way, is May 16th to the 22nd of 2023. I have it all written down for you. You can see it's a complicated week. There's actually a lot going on. Actually not bad. A lot of changing. So we're going to go through it. We're going to get into it. And then I'm going to break things down into decans. A decan is a group of 10 degrees, and every single zodiac sign is a total of 30 degrees on the zodiac wheel. And so there are 3 decans per every zodiac sign. We whittle this down in astrology. We break things down into decans for one reason. Astrology is based on geometry. It's that simple. And aspects or angles are how we learn or understand the energy that the planets are generating while they're interacting with each other. And there's a big angle difference within 30 degrees. So really, to get specific, you kind of have to know where your natal sun is and at what kind of degree or what kind of angle it's forming to another planet or a planetary body or a luminary to understand how it's going to be impacting you. So if your natal sun falls between 0 and 9 degrees Libra, you are a Libra 1. If your natal sun falls between 10 and 19 degrees Libra, you are a Libra 2. And if your natal sun falls between 20 and 29 degrees Libra, you are a Libra 3. You don't have to know what degree your natal sun sits on because I will give you correlating dates, but those are really estimates. If you really want the actual accuracy, then go grab yourself a natal chart. It's really easy. Any search engine, search free natal chart. There's a ton of websites that do it. All you need is your birth date, which you already have, your birth time, and your birth location. And with that information, it stays private. You don't even have to use your real name. Don't worry about data collection. It'll generate within seconds a full natal chart, and then you'll know exactly where your natal sun is located. Okay, you'll know where everything is located because the natal chart will tell you. So let's get into the big stuff, the stuff that's not just impacting Libras, but because you're on this earth, it's going to impact you too. Big things, the new moon. We have a new moon in Taurus, and we've actually had to wait for it. We've had to wait all month for it, because the new moon we had a couple of weeks ago was, the new moon we had 4 weeks ago was in Aries. It was the second new moon in Aries. So things have switched up a little bit. Now we have our full moons first, and we're going to be having our new moons second for the next couple of years. What does this mean? So let's look at how it's interacting. It is in Taurus at 27 degrees. It is trine to Pluto. This is a very peaceful, powerful new moon that is going to bring about harmonious change. This is a wonderful time for manifesting and doing and taking action and putting into action those things that you want to welcome into your life, as all new moons are. But since new moon is in Taurus, the sensual pleasures, sensual things, material items, material goods, and finances, there's some sort of major shift or change that harmonizes those things. And this is a very, very beautiful energy to start a whole new leaf. So I really love this full moon, to be honest with you, especially since it's trine to Pluto. It means that there's just a harmony that's almost dharmic in a sense of we need this. You know, this is bigger than us. And I love the energy of it. I love the vibe. On May 20th, Mars moves into Leo. That will impact you guys a little bit, especially one group of you, because one group of you right now is actually square to Mars because it's in Cancer at that time. So letting that square go, and as Mars transits into Leo, that square will get lesser for some of you guys, and that will feel a lot better. And then we have May 21st, the sun is going to move into Gemini. This brings it into a natural trine. Over the next month, it will trine with all of your natal suns, which will bring confidence and courage, a sense of self-esteem. For right now, when it enters into Libra, it's only touching one group of you guys. So we'll get into who that is first. But it's actually a beautiful energy and a nice time. The sun going into Gemini brings about friendship. It encourages conversations. Something happened before this week began. So we're beginning this week at May 16th. But the end of last week, I think we went over this. Two big things happened, and that was on May 15th. Mercury went out of retrograde, so Mercury is now direct. It's not really moving forward, but it is moving, but it might be inching along right now, but it is starting to post direct. It posted direct on the 15th, and so it's starting to just get its momentum forward again. And then Jupiter moved into Taurus, which may be an even bigger deal, because Jupiter in Aries is really actually kind of difficult energy. But Jupiter in Taurus is so much more solid and so much more contained, but in a healthy way. This is a really beautiful energy, especially since we have this new moon that is in Taurus that is trine to Pluto, and Jupiter is now in Taurus as well. This is beautiful. like this is the kind of position that you want everything to be in. I'm just really happy about it. We kind of needed a break. We were going through a kind of tumultuous up and down period for the past couple of weeks, and this is where I think the peace and tranquility is really going to be able to start. Venus is square to Chiron, and this impacts you directly because Venus is your ruling dignitary, Libra, but it also impacts everybody. It's just going to be felt. There's just a sense of questioning your self-worth, questioning if you look good, if people think you're attractive, if you're valued. All of those questions come up when Venus is square to Chiron. It will not last for more than this week, but it could bring a little challenge and a few struggles. And then the big aspect that we have to talk about, it's been going on since last week, Pluto square to Jupiter, conjunct the North Node, opposite Mars. So that's right. Jupiter is square to Mars and square to Pluto, and Pluto and Mars are right opposite from each other, and that opposition is actually growing more perfect as it moves into Leo, since Pluto is in retrograde right now. And I know a few astrologers have been talking about this. I will make a video about it, but Pluto in retrograde is actually a really nice energy. Pluto in retrograde is a lot more gentle than Pluto direct. And Pluto, Neptune, Saturn, a lot of the bigger planets retrograde during the summer, at least northern hemisphere summer, which is really lucky for us. Those our counterparts in the southern hemisphere have to be trudging along with work, but it's really good during these retrogrades to allow things to slow down and to trust the slower pace, because they're bigger than you. And that's why I think we're lucky in the northern hemisphere, because a lot of us go on summer vacation. We're naturally taking things more slow. So it is a time to trust the pace of things. That's all I'm going to say. Pluto going into retrograde happens every year around this time. At least it's around this time in my lifetime. It may have been earlier or later in hundreds of years ago. But in my lifetime, I'm in my 40s, so it's always been around the summertime, and it will go direct during the fall. This is actually really beautiful energy. Actually, Pluto is a lot more tranquil and peaceful when it's in retrograde, or at least it kind of is. It's investigating. It's digging up. It's more silent, let's put it that way, because it's really digging up those things we're going to need to address when it actually comes out of retrograde toward the fall, which is why around that time a lot of shit hit the fan. So ultimately it's part of the cycle of life, and there's more tranquility here. That's why I love the trine to the new moon even more. Something just nicer and more harmonious happening. But Pluto is square to Jupiter. What does that mean? Kabam. It means the roto-rooter. It means we will get through this clog no matter what. It means relentlessness, and especially in opposition to Mars. This is just like pugilistic, heated. With Pluto in retrograde, it's a little bit more gentle, but as Mars goes into Leo and absorbs all that fire energy, there is a sense of changing to the self, a sense of changing the self and wanting to push forward, move forward, those dynamics of growth and expansion and really not going to take it anymore. I'm going to grow and I'm going to expand. This is intense energy, and it will last for a little while longer. It will last, actually. Jupiter is now actually perfectly square to Pluto, which is at 0 degrees of Aquarius. It'll take Jupiter actually probably this whole month to get out of Pluto's range. So expect that longer term. And then Mars will move a little bit faster. It will probably in a week and a half, 2 weeks, be out of the square opposition. So we can be happy about that. Mars is trying to Neptune this week and is also sextile to the new moon. So I think its energy and that intensity, that relentlessness is being used very well to make huge impact and unclog a clog that has been occurring, especially with financial systems. And we're going to see how that's gonna play out. So let's go into Libra specifics, shall we? Libra specifics, Venus. Venus is going to travel between 9 and 16 degrees Cancer this week. Venus is much happier in Cancer, loving of the family, closeness to the family, family-oriented, or being attracted to people who are family-oriented. It's gentle, it's soft, and it's romantic. It's also moody, but, everything has its downside. Venus is square to Chiron this week, and you guys in particular, since Chiron is in Aries, a group of you in particular is going to have a rougher time this week with just questioning, am I worth it? Am I valuable? Am I beautiful? Do my looks matter at all? Do people care about me? So expect kind of an emotional ride this week. It doesn't mean that there's anything permanently bad happening, but as with all squares, they give us opportunities to learn. So really write down, or at least pay attention to what you're feeling, and be able to objectively ask yourself, is this true? Why do I think it's true? And how can I heal? Because squares are an opportunity to heal. Let's get into the decans, shall we? Libra ones, and that's basically Libras who are born in September. It's definitely Virgo cusps, maybe up to the 29th, 30th of September. Libra ones, your natal sun is sextile to Mars as of I think I wrote down as of the 20th. I think I wrote that down. You are also going to be trine. Your natal suns are also trine to the new moon. So this is actually, and this is a kind of good news. This is a nice push forward that you kind of needed. And Mars relentlessly opening up opportunities for you, especially in mind, body, spirit, and your sense of self. You all week long are going to be, your natal suns are going to be trine to the sun after the 20th. After the 20th. Your natal suns are in opposition to Neptune if you are at the cusp of basically Virgo. That's been going on for a while, so it's nothing new, and nothing is really exacerbating that now except for a trine to Mars, but you're sextile to Mars. So that's actually like, you're going to be able to this week work on your dreams, like take action, or actionably take action on your creativity. And do something with it, like physically do something with your dreams, goals, aspirations. Like that is really what a creativity, really be able to use, physically put into action your creativity. So this is actually a really potent and powerful week for you. Long-term aspects. Your natal suns are trine to Pluto, which is also trine to the new moon. This is coming at it from a different place, but exceptional energy. So there's going to be a nice breakthrough for you, perhaps in finances, harmony or tranquility, harmonizing opportunity to harmonize or balance out those checkbooks, those value systems, or even just the way that you kind of nurture who you are. I love that for you. You are quincunx to Mercury, but Mercury is now direct. So there is a sense of maybe some frustrating information, or frustrating when it comes to communications, but nothing you can't get through, nothing you can't handle. And also a quincunx to Saturn, nothing you can't handle. I feel like with all these opportunities, there's going to be paperwork, laws, rules, and regulations that are going to hit. listen, it is a small price to pay for the advantages and the opportunities that are opening up for you this week. Just an FYI, and you will get through it, and it'll be worth it. Libra 2s, you're the ones that are going to have the toughest time this week because of your position to Chiron and Venus. So Libra 2s, basically from the 29th, 30th of September through the first 9 or 10 days of October, that is you guys. And your natal suns have actually been opposite Chiron for a while. Chiron moves very slow. So this is like a year or so that you guys have been drudging along, and you will for a while longer, I think through the end of this year. You kind of are being asked to, like, it's like you're constantly questioning, am I valuable? Am I worth it? And that could have you compromising your sense of who you're with, what relationships you get into, what you allow in your life. And so you're not making the best choices because you're not feeling valuable by yourself, right? It's like you're questioning your sense of self-worth. Why does the universe put you through this? To make you stronger, to make you realize that you are valuable and how horrible life can be when you don't value your life first. It's activated now because Venus, your ruling dignitary, is also square to Chiron. So this is going to be a particularly difficult week. Lots of challenges, maybe with finances, but with Venus is in Cancer, so it could very well be how you feel beautiful or pretty because of scars or hardships that you went through with your family. I'm sorry about that banging. It's just something that has to happen. Hardships, struggles, or just the way your family made you feel. Maybe they compromised how you feel about yourself or your value. It may not even be about your family. Maybe it be about forming a family, or if you even want one. Challenges and struggles with any Cancerians in your life, and do they value me the way that I want to be valued? All of those things are going to be a challenge for you. And as Venus passes this week, it'll just be this week, because as Venus passes through, it'll relieve that. But I think it's kind of revealing a lot to you that needs to be fixed and needs to be worked on. And it's actually an opportunity for you to treat yourself better and love yourself better. And then we have Libra 3s. Libra 3s, if you are at the very cusp, so the cusp between Libra and Scorpio, you are in direct opposition to Jupiter that's just entered Taurus. It's between 0 and 1 degrees Taurus this week. So if you are at the cusp, the Scorpio cusp, and Libra 2s, you're about like the 11th through the 21st. So this would be like the 19th, 20th, 21st. Those of you who are born around those dates. This is an intensity. This is a sense of it's like when your natal suns are opposite Jupiter, it's like you want to move too fast. It's not necessarily bad, but it can be because you're moving too quickly, you're moving too fast. You're less inspired and more agitated constantly. And this will be going on for at least a week and a half, so just be aware of the intensity this week and how it impacts you. It can actually encourage you to step outside of your comfort zone, which is a very good aspect of this aspect. But at the same time, it's challenging to grapple with. A long-term aspect is that your natal suns have been square to Pluto. And it's been square to Pluto for a while, especially if you guys are at the cusps, I believe. Yeah. So sometimes I get my math wrong, just an FYI. So this isn't anything new, but Pluto is extremely active right now. And so it intensifies the square to your natal suns. That means that your natal suns will also be square to Mars and in opposition to Jupiter. So there's a lot of it's almost like you guys are going to be really relentless this week. It's like, I'm going to get it done, and I'm fucking tired of things not happening the way that I want, and it's going to happen the way that I want. In this energy, you have to ground yourself in morals and ethics, because if you don't, you will create very bad karma for yourself, and everything you establish or win during this energy by compromising your values will come back to really destroy you. So it is very important this week to make sure that you are the morals and ethics that you hold dear, you are staying true to. And being relentless is one thing, being ruthless is another. So just keep that in mind through this week, because you can use this energy in a very good way to help you get outside of your comfort zone, right? But at the same time, if you compromise others, put others down, hurt others to do it, no bueno. So just an FYI, be very conscious of it. This is potent energy, and potent energy can be used for good or bad reasons, but you have to be really on point and constantly checks and balances inside yourself. You are in a long-term aspect with Saturn, but only those of you at the cusp of Scorpio. So understand that there is kind of a tranquility and a harmony when it comes to authority figures, rules, laws, and regulations. This could be really good for contracts or even the legal system, and it kind of jiving with what you need right now. And then you're conjunct to the South Node, which is now at 3 degrees Scorpio, those of you at the cusps. So this is those of you born at the very end of Libra season. You are conjunct the South Node, which means you are getting more familiar with and comfortable with your sense of where you came from, so that you can be confidently moving toward where you're going. I love you guys so much. Please let me know in the comments below how this energy is impacting you, and definitely come across to Born Without Boundaries Tarot for your week ahead tarot card reading. I can't wait to see you there. Subscribe, ring that bell, and I'll see you next week. Bye, Libra.